Hi guys, we are here, me and my baby, Xavier.
Having a production meal.
We are having our breakfast, lunch, actually. I got a really nice walk-in. We went all the way from Diversey all the way to Irving. I was looking for a coat because my Columbia is too small. And as you guys can see, my baby is growing. So today is 27 weeks, 1 day. Yesterday was the first day of my third trimester. That's it, guys. 2 days down, 1 left to go. I am very, very interested to see what the fuck is going to go on. As you guys know, I've been updating you throughout all of this drama, unlawfulness, obstruction of justice, corruption, just you name it. Anyone who really truly knows me knows that in my mind, I cannot make sense of these types of predatory crimes. For instance, I can look the other way on, witnessing or experiencing someone selling drugs, right? Because selling drugs to someone who's looking for them is not the same as forcing someone to do drugs who's not looking for them, right? You can understand. It's the same thing with everything. If you're considering whether or not a person is a good person, it's completely logical and rational to consider what life stresses. That's great, babe. No more. That's more than enough. Thank you so much. What life stresses and circumstances and adversities they are being forced to overcome. If someone is going to be forced to, sell drugs or watch their family suffer, they're going to sell drugs. And you're going to take that into consideration when you're handling that person. So not all criminals are created equally. And that's the same with non-criminals. People do really fucked up stuff under the guise of they are law enforcement or an authority, so they can. Just because you can does not mean that you should, right? So I've been waiting on a waiting list. In 2020, I was unlawfully, literally ejected from my house. If you guys can think of like those cartoons in the 90s, like the Roadrunners and like the Elmer Fudd type of cartoons, when like the character would like press a button in a car or a plane and it would like shoot them out like with no reasoning or like good landing space. That's what they did to me from my own home, with my 3 children, Viviana, Alexis, and Lewis. And they did that. I lived in Roscoe Village. I shared an apartment with Dylan. We were in a serious, committed, long-term 5-year relationship at that time. And he was abusing drugs and alcohol. And I still hadn't completely checked out. He was beating me up and doing a lot of really fucked up stuff. But I still felt like he wasn't like a monster, and like he had positive intention. But the recurring theme as I go back to the point in my life where things changed from me being an office administrator at Northwestern Hospital to me being used and abused and exploited and, human sex trafficked and regular human trafficked. And all of the things that I learned in going through those circumstances, in a lot of times law enforcement and federal agents are involved and they are taking incredible payoffs to look the other way, so to speak. So they will justify allowing these things to take place. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. You guys know that I'm on page 424 of my novel where I'm writing all the details other than people's names. Because I think it does need to be exposed. As I said before, I talk a lot about the One Love campaign. Before you interact with anyone, you need to ask yourself, would I be okay with this happening to me, right? If you're walking by my space and you're an investigator or an agent who's assigned to this case, what are you doing in the past 4 years that I have been updating everyone daily on what action has been taken, who I've spoken with, what calls I've made, where I've stayed, every stop along the way, how much money I've invested personally and lost into keeping myself alive. It's unacceptable. You know, we live in a democracy, supposedly, but I can't see it. The One Love campaign is when you ask yourself, as I said, would this be okay if it was going on with me? And that's more than just thinking outside yourself. That's also thinking outside yourself if you were a mother, if you were a daughter. So it takes some complex compassion and thinking and consideration, to deal with these situations. My number one issue remains that, number one, I'm 27 weeks pregnant. I'm still laying on the floor. I have made it clear that I want nothing to do with this, that I'm not willing to work as an undercover if it means that I'm sleeping outside on the floor of a parking lot. You know, it's not safe. I'm in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. It's unacceptable. I put myself on the waiting list with 311, which is the city's main shelter service. I called them twice a week, every week, religiously. Yesterday or the day before, at 4 a.m., they claimed to have made a call to me for placement. I was asleep, like most other 27-week pregnant women. It's my 3rd trimester. That means I'm almost 7 months pregnant. I'm exhausted, and I'm dealing with all of this stress. I have 3 children. My youngest child, Alexis, is being prevented direct communication with me. I call her every day, multiple times. I text her every day, all day long. I call her father. I am worried. I have been worried. May 26th of this year was the last time I was able to speak with her. My daughter, Viviana, her and I talk 5-6 times a day on FaceTime. All of a sudden, 5 weeks ago approximately, she starts not answering the phone anymore, behaving completely out of character. I'm asking her brother, where are you? Where is your sister? My kids are now alone a lot of the time. Why? Why is that? And it's strategic, and it comes in cycles. Hi, baby. He's moving around. But like I've told you before, it's my one and only job to be a mother to my children. These are my children. My body created them. I birthed them through the vaginal canal. And I raised them their entire lives through 2020, mostly by myself. Their father and their father's families have always been my biggest support. But even that was limited to the weekends. If I ever had an emergency with my children and needed someone to pick them up, do you know who I called? Their grandma and grandpa on their dad's side. That's who I called. Calling either one of their fathers was a hit or miss. Orlando would be like, where are you going? No, I'm not going to watch her. You can watch her. And I'd be like, I have work. And he'd be like, yeah, right. And I'd have to go behind his back as a grown-ass man and call his mom, Lucia. And she'd always say yes. Even if she was busy, she'd always carve out time in her schedule to come pick up my daughter for me to go to work or the gym or something reasonable. It was never for me to go to party. It was never for me to do anything other than make money or, focus on my health. So to them, I want to say again, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart and the top of my heart and all places in my heart, everything that you have had to do, not have had to, because you don't have to, everything that you've done for me and my children, I'm super grateful for. Consuelo, Lewis, Franklin, Lucia, I'm very grateful, whether we get along or not all the time. Children, and I say this all the time, require as much love as possible. I know that their fathers love them. Lewis and Orlando definitely love them, but they're guys, they're the types of fathers that are like, yeah, we could have McDonald's every single day and never shower. That sounds great. Like, they're guys, and their moms and dad, their parents have helped me create a family dynamic with my children and an expectation from my children that has been consistent throughout my life. I was a 19-year-old mother. That means I'm always growing. I'm always getting different jobs. I'm always moving. So no matter where I moved, as long as I stayed within a reasonable distance of the kids' grandparents, they would come pick them up. I chose to put my big kids in school in the district where they lived because I didn't want them to have to go through what I went through as a teenager. 1,000,000 different schools, 1,000,000 different social groups. I wanted them to have roots, So, and I'd like to do that for this baby, which is why we stay using Xavier's father's address, even though we only lived there last summer and we have not been back. We've been in a tent since February 15th, 2022. And I want to press criminal and civil charges against everyone involved. I don't know how many more times I could say it or how much more articulate I can be. This is abusive. I wake up every night in the middle of the night in incredible, tremendous pain from my spinal cord, from my hips. I cry for a little bit in the morning when I get my bearings and realize I'm not home, I'm not inside, and that's never going to change. I have not been in a situation where I felt home since 2037 West Roscoe. Even Montclair didn't feel home because my kids were not there. And my entire life, as I said, since 19, I'm 36 now. That's nearly 20 years of my life. I've been raising my children. Home was not home unless it was for me and my 3 kids. They lived with me at least a minimum of 4 days a week. Usually it was closer to 5. So, 311 calls. They say that they closed my case. I posted the text message. 5:39 a.m. I get a text message from their system automated saying, your case has been closed. I just burst into tears. I've been on the waiting list for a year, more than a year. I've been calling them 2 times a week, every single week since August or September in anticipation of the cold weather. I'm borderline anemic, which means that my levels are always kind of normal, kind of not, but I get freezing cold at 40 or 45 degrees, meaning the tips of my fingers are numb, my toes are numb, I'm crying out in pain. I don't know what to make of this, and I don't know why law enforcement has not directly contacted me back with solutions. I keep on getting promised that Xavier's dad is getting us a loft space in Berwyn, and people have promised that they're replacing my vehicle, and then, different people have promised employment and all this stuff. I am capable. I am dynamic. There is nothing I can't do. I can earn my own money. I just need you to get out of my way and let me do so. Okay? I'm working on the coffee table book, as you guys know. My novel, as you guys know, is already in the 420-something pages. And in addition to that, I'm just trying to be okay emotionally. You're separating me from the people I love. That's not a mental health issue. That means you've ripped me out of my life, the life I've worked my entire life to have, and I want my life back. That's sadness. That's causal to what you've done to me. That's not a mental health issue. I don't have any substance abuse issues. I don't really do anything other than sit around this tent crying, applying for jobs on average $40 to $100 a month. I'm about to start crocheting a blanket for my baby. We just went to Michael's and got I got a crochet hook and this really fuzzy yarn. I do know how to crochet. So I'm going to work on a couple more pages of the coffee table book and make this blanket, but I'm frustrated, I'm going to go into labor soon, and the same people who have not harassed me since 2020 are in the comments with the same rhetoric as they had in 2020. For the most part, I thought we were past that. So I'd like you guys, anyone who's assigned to this investigation, to please pay attention. Pay attention to who comes back around when this abusive behavior picks back up. And pay close attention, because there are no accidents and there are no coincidences. I'm going to eat dinner now. We got Chicken Shack again. So delicious. So yummy. Baby's hungry. I had a yogurt and one of those tiny salads from Target, the $3 ones for breakfast, brunch. And now I'm about to eat dinner. That's about it. I want to go indoors. I want to raise my children. I want my car back. It's the exact same thing I say on every single live. I'm getting sick and tired of saying, well, I'm not getting there. I'm sick and tired of saying the same thing. I've had enough, and I've been saying that since it began. This is not my life. This is not the life I deserve. I deserve to be, having access to basic human necessities like a toilet, like a shower. So that's the update for today. I'm 27 weeks pregnant. This is Heather Gillespie. It's November 17th or 18th, Saturday.
I don't know where my phone is.
I've texted my family asking what are we doing for Thanksgiving. I haven't heard from my mother in over a year. Haven't heard from my sister in over a year. That's concerning. And my kids and my father are, I'm always in contact with them, but it definitely feels like there's something going on again, which I haven't felt since 2021, which was the first time they did all of this nefarious bullshit. A lot of people were charged, and I'm sure that they're going to be again. So, sponsors, if you guys are out there, we have not seen you. Xavier said that he went to go meet for food and that no one was there. So I had to use the money that was given to me for maternity clothes. That's what I've been using to feed us lately. They did the exact same thing last month. I had gotten us a brand new tent. Someone kicked the whole front door off and kicked me in my eye. And I received money for maternity clothing and had to use it to replace the tent. So I'm just sick of it. You guys can see my tummy is busting out of these pants. And this is one pair of 3 pants I have left that fit. I don't have access to a washer dryer regularly. I am outside in a tent. Can you give me a fucking break, please? That's about it. I had a nutrition client yesterday who was so inappropriate. I mean, it was just awful. At first, they were completely appropriate, and had boundaries and asked me for the nutrition plan. But they had leukemia and prediabetes. And I can work with prediabetes, but I've never worked with a leukemia patient before. Not that I wouldn't. I said, absolutely, I'll take it on. But I need you to understand that I've never worked with someone with leukemia. So I'm going to have to literally go to the library, spend a day preparing. I need you to complete a health assessment, write down all the details. I'll take it to the library and look for any considerations. And then we can have a free Zoom consult. And I'll tell you how much it's going to cost for me to give you this whole plan. They were all, that sounds great. I sent them the assessment and then they're starting to text me ridiculous. Like, do you have time for a phone call? Do you want to talk? I'd like to get to know each other. Bro, I'm not looking for friends. I am not looking for friends. I have 3 children, 1 on the way. I'm sleeping in a tent. I don't need any friends right now. I need support. I need the authority to intervene. That is what I need. Like I said, I completed 3 or 4 pages so far for the coffee table book. So I'm focusing on that. I'm going to type up, basically my narrative from what's happened from page 424 of my novel through today, and handwrite it like I always do, so that I have record, and so that, we know who's full of shit and who's keeping it real. I always tell the truth, and the reason for that is because a lie cannot stand next to the truth and survive. It will be exposed. But yeah, that's about it. You guys have a great day. I don't know what I'm doing. The shelter system, threw away my request. At this point, it's going to be up to, completely private sponsors, or if law enforcement is able to find out who is preventing my resumes from being distributed, and who is, trying to harm me still. Leaving me in a tent is not a solution. So it's a Band-Aid on a fracture, in the words of Eric Scholl. You guys have a great day. I miss my children. Alexis, if you're listening, mommy loves you so much, and I call you every single day. I leave a message on Dada's cell phone for you every single day. Viv, I've only spoken to you 6 times in the last 26 days, and you know that's unacceptable. Bebe, I just got off the phone with you, so we're all good. But girls, your mother misses you. Please call me. And if anyone else is listening, their fathers, you're driving me crazy not letting me know if my children are okay. I'm a full-time mother, not a bum. Please call me and let me know that my children are good. And for the people in the comments who, have something clearly wrong with them, an undiagnosed issue of sorts,
hit the bricks.
Please go away. This is my safe place, not yours. So, bye, you guys.